Let's move to this story, which, again, is something we've touched on and are keeping you updated with throughout the course of the coming days. The SNP facing that bitter leadership battle after Humza Yousaf resigned yesterday as Scotland's First Minister. Former SNP deputy John Swinney has emerged as an early front runner. Kate Forbes narrowly lost out to Yousaf last year, saying she's actively considering running again. I hope for the people of Scotland that she does. It comes, by the way, as a motion of no confidence in the Scottish Government has just been tabled by the Labour Party. Let's get the latest. Ian Macwhirter, political commentator and author, is with us. Ian, good afternoon to you. So this has happened just in the last couple of hours that Labour have... we knew this was going to happen, but a motion of no confidence in the entire government.
Yeah, we knew that there were two motions of confidence or no confidence, if you like. One was in Humza Yousaf himself. He's gone now, so the Tories have withdrawn that. That leaves Labour. They've tabled the amendment they said they were going to table, which basically wants to get rid of the government as a whole.
That's not unlikely to happen, I would imagine, right, in terms of the government as a whole. I mean, the Yousaf thing is now academic because he's resigned. Where does this go from here, Ian?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Greens who continue to hold the whip hand in Scottish politics, somewhat bizarrely. It's assumed that they will vote with the government now that Humza Yousaf is gone, so they will prevent the government falling and there being an election. But that doesn't really solve anyone's crisis. I mean, this is metastasizing by the day.
Yeah.
And the situation essentially is that the SNP now, after having tried to get rid of the Greens, essentially over their refusal to accept the Cass review, their support for keeping puberty blockers for young kids, and their enthusiasm for putting transgender rapists in women's prisons, the SNP under Humza Yousaf tried to get rid of them, but he's failed. They're back in the driving seat because of the numbers in the Scottish Parliament, because the SNP doesn't really have a majority. I mean, they could have had a majority and they could have won. Humza Yousaf could still have been in Bute House if he'd accepted the deal that was offered by Alex Salmond and the MSP, the Alba MSP, Ash Regan. He could have prevailed in this confidence motion. But the anti-Salmond faction, the Sturgeonite faction within the SNP said, nope, you're not doing it, we're not having it, we'll rebel. So, he had to basically fall on his sword and depart. So there you have it. The Scottish government is still under the sway of these Green MSPs who command about 8% of the votes in the country and have very eccentric views indeed.
I mean, in terms of political tactics, I mean, Humza must get the gold on this one at the moment for absolute unfathomable ineptitude. Because a student of politics could have told him that this might happen, but somehow he didn't work this out.
Well, he's not the sharpest tool in the box, but you've got to remember there are a lot of advisors around him. Remember, he took a decisive action. He said, after the Greens refused to accept the Cass report, once they continued to argue for puberty blockers for young kids and all this kind of stuff, he realized this can't go on. We can't have these people in government anymore. I mean, the Green wing, the LGBT wing of the Greens accused Dr. Hilary Cass of social murder. This is just beyond the pale. So they decided we have to break this now. We might as well break it completely. Now, as I say, he had an option from Alex Salmond's party, from the MSP Ash Regan. If he'd accepted her deal, which was a very simple one, a very undemanding one, he could have prevailed this week. But the Sturgeonite faction within the SNP pulled back and refused to allow him to do that. Now, it's a failure of weakness on his part. He should just have said, look, go your own way. If you're going to rebel against us, then if you're going to bring down an SNP government, hell mend you. And he should have continued, I think, with this deal that was offered by Salmond, and he would still be in place today.
Yeah.
As it is, the Greens have just been handed the keys to the castle.
Yeah, and that smiley faces all round over there at Green HQ, it seems. Listen, Ian, great insight. Thank you. Ian Macwhirter, political commentator.